Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we're going to take a look at Kaiju number 8 and storytelling and discussion and thought and analysis as a whole, and just how important it is as a storyteller, as a reviewer, as an analyst to be able to step back and look at other people's thoughts and opinions and get their feelings on things, get their thoughts on things, and it really takes you out of yourself and can really expand your horizons. And this is true in all walks of life, but especially if you're a storyteller, you really need to be able to read a lot and listen to other people's stories, be that as an author or a movie maker or an artist even. Being able to step back and get a broader perspective can really improve the way you create. And this is also true in science. You can get so focused in on your own branch of science that you lose a very necessary broader perspective on the world at large. It's the concept of the everyman and why for instance, in most manga, the protagonist is not the smartest, the strongest, or the fastest. The protagonist is a well-rounded character with friends who have these capacities, and that's, again, why we love these main characters. This is hardly limited to manga. You have Captain Kirk, who is the balance between Spock's logic and McCoy's emotions. You have, going back, the Odysseus, the captain of the ship from the Odyssey. So this is a very, very old concept. You need to step out of yourself and be able to draw from other people. But what does this have to do with Kaiju number 8 specifically, other than that Kafka's a very good example of this? Well, I was reading chapter 48 of Kaiju number 8, and I read through it, and certain things stuck out to me, and my brain had been mulling over them unsuccessfully. The main panel that I was thinking about, and of course there will be some fairly intense spoilers in here, but you've probably already read it by this time. Anyway, on page 22, everybody's wrapping up, everybody's feeling great. Kikoru's received her father's praise, Kafka's been called by his name in battle instead of being called Kaiju number 8, so things are looking good, and of course everything goes wrong. We were all expecting this. The alarm goes off, there's another Daikaiju in the area, everybody's scrambling to react, and that's when Kafka hears the voice, "So I made it in time." Or let me do that properly. "So I made it in time." And Kafka and Kikoru snap around, and the decaying, decrepit corpse of Kaiju number 9 is talking to them. Now, this confused me tremendously. Who was speaking here? Kaiju number 9 was there from the get-go. So why was Kaiju number 9 saying, "So I made it in time"? That made no sense to me. And then, of course, the conversation moves on. Kaiju number 9, or rather its decaying head, keeps talking to Kafka. He tells Kaiju number 8, "I wasn't able to kill you, but I'll be carrying out my other goal. I'm going to take great Kaiju power for myself." And then, of course, you get the big reveal where the Kaiju number 9 body pops up. Now, I was just scratching my head. "So I made it in time." What did that mean? Kaiju number 9 was already there. And in fact, the body is literally right there dying in front of them. Now, I have a very strict policy. I don't watch any other YouTubers' content analysis until I've had a chance to fully type out my entire spoiler-rich theory video. I want my thoughts to be my thoughts at that point. I want my initial analysis to be uncontaminated by anybody else's thoughts, opinions, or theories. But as soon as I'm done with that, I like to go and watch what all my friends have to say. So I went over and I listened to Pirate Hunter Anime and his take on the chapter. He generally has some really awesome takes, and you should probably go and listen to him. And he mentions something that I had really barely noticed. There were these two panels about midway through the chapter, and he said that they seemed remarkably redundant to him, as if they served no purpose at all. There were two panels of Division 1's Vice Captain Hasagawa's face showing up, and he's having some reaction. Now, I really didn't think about these panels at all. In fact, all of my What on the World sense had been concentrated on that one panel where Kaiju number 9 says, "So I see I made it in time." As I began to consider what Pirate Hunter Anime was saying, I thought, well, what is the purpose of these panels? First off, I considered that Hasagawa is kind of the voice of the everyman in the defense force. The average defense force officer who's going to look at Kaiju number 8 as a threat isn't prone to seeing Kafka Haibino as a human being anymore. And these panels do kind of show him showing concern and gratitude towards Kaiju number 8 and recognizing at least that Kaiju number 8 is a critical member of the defense force, if not fully recognizing that Kafka Haibino is still human. So that was one use for these panels. But then something suddenly clicked in my head. These panels weren't just of Hasagawa's face giving reactions, they were reacting to the display on that rectangular display of the battlefield on Vice Captain Hasagawa's armband. Now, the main thrust of these reactions is that Hasagawa is saying how well the battle went and how little damage was done, and how only 2 ants managed to escape their battle lines. Now, it's kind of vague. We don't know if these ants really managed to escape and just got away clean and burrowed back underground, or if they were killed and stopped not long after they got outside the battle lines. But I would say it's not out of the range of possibility that these ants just got away and didn't come back. All it says is that their defense lines were breached. But this is 2 ants that did manage to escape. Now, we know that Kaiju number 9 has telepathic abilities. It can communicate, but we know that these telepathic abilities are limited because we see the Kaiju number 9 that's fighting Kaiju number 8 communicate to Kaiju number 9 Beta, and Beta says, I can't come now, I'm fighting. So they were able to establish a psychic connection and exchange words or deliberate concepts, but the Kaiju number 9 that was fighting Kaiju number 8 was not able to know what the Kaiju number 9 Beta was doing. So they have a broadcast ability, but it is limited. And it's probably limited by range. We know that Kaiju number 9's control of other Kaiju is limited by range, although what that range is seems to depend on the circumstances. So this led me to conclude that the scene of the Hasagawa reaction faces was to let the audience know that 2 ants had escaped. Why was that important? Because they needed to get the message through to another Kaiju number 9, the one that we see turn up later in the series, that the 2 Kaiju number 9s that were on the scene had already failed. So in the end, Pirate Hunter's Anime's questions about these mid-chapter Hasagawa reaction faces actually answered my questions about the end of chapter Kaiju number 9 speech bubble. What did that mean? So I made it in time. That massive Kaiju number 9 body that crops up at the very end of the chapter and shocked us all had to come in from somewhere else. It didn't matter that there already were multiple Kaiju number 9 bodies on the scene. This super Kaiju number 9, or possibly Kaiju number 9 Alpha, needed to be called in from somewhere else, which raises a whole host of disturbing possibilities. If Kaiju number 9 can make 3 bodies like this, what's to say he can't make more? What's to say there aren't Kaiju number 9s out there actively going after other numbered weapon compatible user pairs? We don't know. Any other numbered weapon incompatible user might be under attack right now. Presumably, that would have been communicated to Director General Shinomiya at this point, but if Kaiju number 9 is blocking that information, no one would be able to know. But to wrap it back up to my main point, cheers to Pirate Hunter Anime for setting me on the right path to answer at least one question I had. Why did Kaiju number 9 say, I made it in time? Clearly, that main body was somewhere else and needed to be summoned, most likely summoned by the 2 ants that broke the defensive perimeter our scarred-faced buddy, Vice Captain Hasagawa, was responding to in those mid-page panels. So, that's my thoughts for today. Peace out, my wonderful viewers. Humans are weird. We took a vote, and humans are weird. I have the data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.